Um, are you talking about apple cider vinegar? Apple cider vinegar is cool. I have no issue with apple cider vinegar. Do I think apple cider vinegar is transformative or anything super special? No, I don't. But I don't have any problem with apple cider vinegar. Um, so AOD really quick, guys. So AOD is actually a fragment of the human growth hormone. We're going to talk about tirzepatide resets here, BSAF, shortly. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to talk about metabolic resets, crushing your weight loss plateau. We're going to talk about becoming sensitive to medication with a medication reset. So just stay tuned. I want to keep getting caught up here. We're talking about AOD. So AOD is a fragment of the human growth hormone. So what does growth hormone do? It's involved in fat loss, muscle building. Um, it's involved in healing, musculoskeletal healing, joint repair, even improved sleep, and even improved immune function. So by taking a fragment of that larger growth hormone molecule, what they actually did was create AOD. And so AOD, again, mobilizes your body fat stores. So essentially, what that means is it improves fat adaptation, which means you're going to burn fat better. At the end of the day, that's what we're talking about is improved fat burning. If we work with you, is it your staff or do we work with? Yes, J Rex, great question. And I want everybody to know that you're working with me directly and my staff. So I have medical practitioners and I have coaches, and then there's me. And I'm heavily involved in some of my coaching programs, specifically the Warrior program. That's the one that gives us the monthly check-ins with me on an intimate level. That's the one where we get a guarantee of results. That's the one where we're fine-tuning the program, and you have a guarantee of results with that program. So I'll keep coaching you if we don't hit our goal. So it's like you got me in the corner. I think that the Warrior is definitely the program that I recommend that you guys consider. When you talk to my experts, let them know that that's the one that you want to learn more about. But we have many programs. AOD is not something that you can get over the counter. It is a prescription, just like the GLP-1s. Anti-obesity drug is what AOD stands for. AOD used to be on the FDA safe list, which is so crazy about AOD. It's a very, very safe peptide. Guys, if you just joined us here on today's live, welcome, welcome. So my name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics. We service across the nation, all 50 states. I work with my medical practitioners. They prescribe and I coach. And so we have a really good approach, a really comprehensive approach towards addressing these various metabolic health issues that people are running into. Um, a lot of you guys are complaining about side effects, complications. You're concerned about the complications long term. And the crazy thing is have to you don't even have to worry about these things. Just stay on a lower dose. Staying on a lower dose saves you money, reduces complications, reduces side effects. Like it's just a lot easier. But you have to know how to navigate around that. You have to know what you can and can't do in order to stay on a lower dose. So I've started teaching you guys a little bit about how that's possible. So you guys should now understand a little bit more about how that's possible. In summary, you can stay on a lower dose, an effective dose of your GLP-1 medication by implementing metabolic health life strategies like fasting, keto, carnivore, anti-processed food diets, eating less processed foods, lifting heavy weights. These are the pieces of the puzzle. These are the things that you can do. What about people that do not need to lose weight? So, Eber, you don't need to lose weight, then what are your current healthcare goals? What are your current health goals? Because the GLP-1s do so much more than just weight loss. They reduce inflammation, they reduce addictive tendencies, they improve liver health, kidney function. There's a lot of impact of metabolic health, but if you don't need the medication, you don't need the medication. That's totally cool. How soon can I begin? Do you take FSAs? Yes, we do. Curted by Brit. I said that right. Curated by Brit. We do take health savings accounts and flexible savings accounts. You can get started pretty quickly with us. We do work with Quest Labs. So, and we do have every morning. There's always going to be a couple people that reschedule. So if it sounds like paraded, you're ready to rock and roll. Shoot us a text message. Let them know that you are looking for the first appointment available, and they'll let you know what slots are available. We'll get you in. Let them know that you want to move fast. We do have some accelerated paths. Can you recommend a good methylated multivitamin? We have um, several different peptide or several different supplements that are part of Dr. Jones' faves. So we can just send you the message of that one. Um, if you have current labs, we can take a look at it. Britt, um, we we also like what was the other one? Pancreatic enzymes are another lab that we like to make sure that your pancreas is healthy. But we'll take a look at the labs that you have. Is there a BMI requirement to get these medications? No, no BMI requirement. By the way, guys, BMI is a horrible indicator. I wouldn't say horrible. It's a weak indicator of metabolic health. So there are much better indicators of metabolic health than than BMI. Like for example, uh, your waist to height ratio as an individual is a much better indicator of metabolic health. Yeah, we don't really look at BMI or use it at all to tell us much. All right, so you guys ready to talk about weight loss stalls now? You guys want to talk about how to fix the weight loss stall and how to fix GHK copper is both an antioxidant as well as an anti-inflammation peptide to help with skin health. And yeah, GHK copper is a pretty cool peptide. Um, right now, we're not hiring. I think we're staffed up for the moment. We're always taking affiliates, though. Yeah, we're always taking affiliates. So, is this a subscription program? JREX. No, it's not. You can buy any amount of coaching, any amount of months of coaching that you want. We do have a lifestyle $27 a month coaching tier, which is the coaching program that I would love to keep you guys in for the rest of your life because I think for the value of the $27 a month, we're going to help you achieve permanent weight maintenance. And so this is very very important. Maintaining a healthy weight for the rest of your life. This is what we're going to do in this community, and that's what that tier is all about. But it's also got a ton of perks as well. But our main coaching program is the student and the warrior. Um, Marina. Yeah, stay in touch. You know, you can ask us every month or so because we are growing. We've added so many people to the staff over just the last, yeah, I mean, over the last 6 months. Santos on YouTube. Do you guys prescribe and use insurance? No, unfortunately, insurance companies do not cover any of this stuff. Insurance companies don't cover. It's hard to even get. I mean, you're not going to get peptides covered. You're not going to get coaching covered. Um, Yeah, many people are just tired and fed up with this whole insurance company BS and just, people are just taking health in their own, taking matters under control, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not waiting for insurance companies to tell me what I can and can't do kind of thing. So, I think that's where people are at. Okay, so anyways, this phone number here, best number to reach out to my team if you wanna get scheduled for that free consultation. Shoot us a text message now. Let's rock and roll. So you're welcome, Santos. So the dreaded weight loss stall. Um, I also will talk about being on the max dose because I think this is really important. But first, I want to start with understanding the whole process of how you got here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up into four parts. I'm going to talk about how we got here, part one. We're going to talk about the science of the weight loss stall, what's happening to your body, part two. These are going to be short, little 2 to 3 minute pieces of information so that you guys can sink your teeth into it, learn it, and then ask me questions in between. We're going to talk about how to fix your weight loss stall. That's going to be part three, and then we're going to talk about the flow protocol, which is my structured approach towards lasting weight loss. Part four: how do we prevent the weight loss stall from happening? How do we get our results with flow? Why is it the best way to use these GLP-1s? What exactly is flow, fasting like our ancestors? We're gonna talk about all of that today. So stay tuned and do me a big favor though, as we're doing this, smash that like button and share this live out with anybody that you think would benefit. We have a ton of free resources, and even if you need to work with us, make sure you're following my YouTube, make sure you're following the podcast. There's a lot of great free information out there, and I want you guys to have access to all of it. Okay, so part one, how we got here. So think back to when you started the medication and your team order labs and prescribe the medication. Yes, we order labs, all 50 states. We ship all 50 states. We got you covered. No, it's way more than just the coaching. It's everything. It's all the above. You can do just the coaching if you already have the medications and peptides, but we want to add coaching. When I was on it, it was hard for me to eat. I wanna get back on it, but I wanna know how to do it healthy, how to be healthy. Tammy, then you definitely wanna listen to what I'm saying. Many people like you had to stop because they didn't feel healthy. They didn't feel good. So, Cowboy Slim, I still weigh 200 and, what do I weigh right now? 215? 218? I still weigh 215. I'm not that slim. Um, so you started this medication about thank you, Cowboy. Um, I'm definitely trying to get that, this picture on the top right was, last summer, and, I was probably a little bit leaner. I was leaner there for sure. Um, I can easily get back to that probably in another 4 to 6 weeks. So, honestly, if I wanna get back to looking like that, as you guys wanna know the fastest thing I can do to get back looking like that right there? All I gotta do is do a 48-hour fast every week for, like, 4 to 6 weeks, and I'll get that shredded. I won't even have to do cardio or definitely a lot of peptides. I would increase my peptides, and, we could talk about getting shredded, but that's a secondary conversation. Yesterday, I had a bunch of steak. I had steak and eggs. That's all I had. Um, these are really important questions. I got pancreatitis while on tirzepatide. Should I completely stay away from it now? Not necessarily, Stephanie. If you're working with us, we can, uh, be very cautious about how we approach it. A very micro dose, a micro protocol might be what's needed for you. And we have other options like tesofensine as well. Yes, getting into a relationship makes you not get swole. That's what people say. But if you find yourself a partner who's also likes to be your swole partner, a partner that also cares about fitness, that's really, really important. Me and the old lady, we work out every weekend and we never miss it. Okay, so sorry, I'm getting distracted with all these important questions. AOD, yeah, AOD is our favorite peptide to stack with the GLP-1. Tammy, that question that statement doesn't even make sense. I need to know how to make myself eat. Yes, sure, that would be a valuable thing. Mental toughness. I want you to get more mentally tough. But what if you didn't have to force yourself to eat? What if your appetite wasn't so damn suppressed to begin with, is kind of what I'm trying to get to, Tammy. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Maybe you need our guidance so you don't have to force yourself. Because honestly, forcing your forcing yourself to eat is rather uncomfortable. And if we get you on a lower dose, you're not going to have to do that. Corju on Instagram, day two, uh, after first 12.5 milligram. You took a 12.5 milligram shot of retatrutide? Holy crap. That's a massive dose, Corju. Please be safe. I'm not sure who told you to take that large of a dose. Retatrutide is not FDA approved yet. We never like anybody going on above 4 milligrams of Reta. I hope that you meant Tirzepatide and not retatrutide, Corju. Um, but okay, so let's get back to the how we got here. No, vision loss is not an issue. It's I've talked about that in great length. So when you guys started the medication, do you remember what it was like to have your food chatter completely suppressed? You remember what it was like to just all of a sudden, finally, when that medication hit, the cloud was lifted. How many years were you suffering with food chatter prior to finally first feeling the effect of the medication? The effect of reducing food chatter or removing food chatter. What did that feel like? And for how many years did you struggle prior to that? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, your entire life? Do you have to stack AOD with the GL? You don't have to stack AOD, but I would, and we recommend it because it helps tremendously with the better you wanna get the more favorable fat burning, muscle preserving type reaction. So user 45 says years. The rest of you guys, um, answer this question for me. How many years were you suffering with food chatter prior to using the medication, and what did it feel like when the food chatter finally was gone? Because remember, for so many years, you tried to basically stop eating, you tried to control your eating, you really couldn't do it, your body would control you, right? You versus your body. You tried to not eat, but your body said, "I wanna eat," and you lost that battle, right? You were losing that battle. Collectively, your body was winning, and your body would force you to eat more, right? That's what cravings are, that's what food chatter is, that's what hunger is. You finally take the medication, and it's like, right, the cloud is lifted, the body's scream and chatter for food is gone or decreasing. You now are in control, not your body. Feels feels freaking fantastic, right? And now, here's the problem, right? Now you're not eating enough food. Now you don't remember to eat. Now you're not getting hungry. Now you get full really fast or you get nauseous. Now you're stalled. You're barely eating 1,000 calories. You're tired, you're brain foggy, you're constipated, you feel like crap, you look like a zombie, no offense. Well, I wanna make a little offense so I can just a little offense with love. Uh, yes, I called you a zombie, but do you guys see the problem here? Do you see why zombie mode? Do you see why starvation mode happens to almost everybody on GLP-1s. Anybody who gets put onto the continual increasing of doses experiences this massive reduction in hunger, which creates the starvation mode where you're not eating enough food. Nay. So AOD stands for anti-obesity drug. AOD is a powerful fat mobilizing peptide. And it essentially, long story short, we stack it with the GLP-1s so that you can supercharge your weight loss results, continue to burn more fat, burn less muscle. So, in summary, guys, the reason why you stalled, I know a lot of you guys earlier told me that you're stalled out, and this is I'm talking to you now. We just finished part 1. The reason why your weight loss stalled is because you entered starvation mode. You entered starvation mode because you've not been eating enough food, you've not been consuming enough calories. Macronutrients is calories, micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, various phytonutrients. You're not getting enough of the things that your body needs over an extended period of time. And so your body enters starvation mode, which is this survival mechanism, which means your metabolism slows down. And so now you're stalled, you're not losing weight, and you're not eating. And you have all these symptoms: the tiredness, the brain fog, the constipation, the feeling cold, the body's achy, you're eating potato chips. They better be good potato chips if you're gonna eat potato chips. Salt and vinegar, that's what I would eat if I was gonna eat potato chips. You gotta feed the beast, Anel says. Feed the beast. You gotta feed the beast. Oh, yeah. Corju says, "No, not 12.5 milligrams of retatrutide, 12.5 units." Okay, you scared me there, Corju. Like, that's a lot of retatrutide. Okay, so any questions on the weight loss stall? How it happens, how you got here? Misa, PCOS girl here, lost 87 pounds on GLP-1s, but I cannot lose that last 22. Misa, not only can you not lose that last 22, but what about the future? You're so hyper fixated, Misa, about losing the last 22. Have you thought about what's gonna happen if you actually do lose the 22 pounds? Have you thought about maintenance? Have you thought about not regaining the weight? Or is all your attention so hyper focused on the 22 that you lost sight of the bigger battle? Guys, let me drop some reality on you. Maintaining weight loss is more difficult than losing the weight to begin with. Let me repeat that. Maintaining weight loss is more difficult than losing the weight to begin with. And I know it's like one of those factoids that nobody ever wants to talk about. No, it's not glamorous to think about that. It's frustrating to think about that. All these companies are gonna sell you peptides and medications, and they're gonna sell you solutions to weight loss, and they don't give a shit about you or your future. They don't care about whether you're gonna regain that weight. I mean, that's business. If my business makes money on selling GLP-1 medications, then I want people stuck on the largest doses for the longest period of time, right? Business. Guess what? My company also sells GLP-1s. Guess what? I don't want you stuck on larger doses. Most of you won't need to do that if you follow my coaching. Some of you might need micro protocols. I think some of you might need micro protocols, but a lot of you could actually get off if you got off your ass and got to work. Like, we got to get to work. There's no messing around here. What do I do? Why do I do better on 2.5 milligrams than 5 or 7.5? Those doses did nothing for me. Rachel, I think that that's part of what we're talking about. Sometimes larger doses seem to downregulate the response. It's almost like it washes out the response, decreases the response. That's what it I mean, we don't know for sure, but that's what it seems. And you maintain only on AOD. Um, yeah, but you shouldn't have to take AOD. Look, I could sell you AOD over and over and over, but I don't wanna do that. AOD is not cheap. I would rather you achieve stability and only use AOD occasionally when you're fasting, so you can burn the most amount of fat. That's what I would rather have. Aviel, I haven't gone over 500 micrograms of Wegovy. I don't know what 500 micrograms of Wego oh, 0.5 milligrams, okay. Um, Still dropping, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. But if you have new habits licked before you titrate off, then it's a great option to help you lose. I like licked. I haven't seen that word used that way for a while. But yes, if you can implement and stick to some strategic targeted lifestyle interventions, yes, that's gonna be the ticket to successful weight maintenance, without a doubt. I agree. I'm going back on it with her. What do you mean, Roddy? You're probably able to eat more, to be honest. You need to eat. You gotta feed the beast. Anel, you gotta feed the beast. I'm gonna use that one now. Feed the beast. Feed the beast. Figure, yeah, engagement looks good. Um, BT Betty, I'm going to be on Monjaro. After being on Monjaro and 1,200 calories, your info has made me realize why I'm not losing. Thank you, BD or Betty. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but um, I think that it's important that we understand that there is a way out. There is a solution to this problem. The weight loss doll, like Betty, has been under eating 1,200 calories. You're freaking starving, but it's okay. Calories in versus calories out. No, that is not what we're talking about. That's a super outdated model. And I can get into the whole calories versus hormones in a bit, but calories matter when you're talking about fixing a metabolism, but calories don't matter when you're trying to actually achieve sustainable, easy weight loss. I want to do it with my daughter. She is 15. What do you recommend? So, Roddy, we actually have worked with teenagers. There's a video on my YouTube page actually that might motivate your daughter. This gal, she's 16 years old. She worked with me. We got her intermittent fasting, and she lost 60 pounds. She got off the medication. She's maintaining her weight loss. She, it was her and her mom. Her mom was definitely very supportive too as well. Um, Guys, if you just joined us today, this morning, welcome, welcome. We are talking about. We're in the middle of a four-part series right now. We're going to talk about the science of starvation. We're about to get into the science of weight loss plateaus. Right now, just kind of rapid firing questions. Then we'll talk about cortisol after this. Cortisol is very important. The GLP-1 is making you sick because you're probably on too large of a dose, and you wouldn't have to be on too large of a dose if you followed some of the things that we're teaching. XXX. So definitely stay tuned, stay connected. Make sure you reach out. Um, we do service all 50 states, guys. So my medical practitioner. So I have a team. It's a virtual telemed company. We service all 50 states. They prescribe and I coach. Uh, we do the GLP-1s, the peptides, the hormone therapies, and I do the lifestyle intervention coaching. Um, JREX. So even before I became a doctor of chiropractic, I specialized, like my background, since I lost 100 pounds myself way back when I was 16, I became a personal trainer. I managed gyms. I was managing thousands of trainers. This was before, fasting was even a thing, way back in the day. And, that's from there, I became a DC. I integrated working with medical doctors, utilizing lifestyle strategies to help people achieve better health. And then the GLP-1s kind of came into play. So that's kind of what my history is for the past 15 years or so. Um, and now this is what we do. Metabolic health, permanent weight maintenance strategies and coaching, keeping people safe on these medications because unfortunately, there's so much commotion about these medications, and everybody and their grandma wants to get on Ozempic, but grandma is losing her precious muscle mass. And if grandma's losing her muscle mass, that's going to end her life. And I'm not even joking about this. Younger people have an easier time rebuilding the muscle mass afterwards. But grandma, she will literally die sooner by losing that precious muscle mass because her ability to regain it and rebuild it is very challenging without hormone therapy, to be honest. So preventing muscle loss is one of the most important reasons, but there's many, many more. So this phone number here that you guys see on my shirt, this is actually the best number to reach out to my team if you guys are curious, if you want to learn more, if you want to join thousands of other individuals just like you who are either struggling or want to prevent struggling. You want to do this right, and you want to be set up for success. Not saying you have to look like this by any means. This is not to get jacked. This is get healthy. Although certainly, if you want to get jacked, we can do that too. But you'll notice in the GLP-1 community, you basically have a lot of overweight people who are now less overweight. How many of you guys notice this? How many of you notice this in the GLP-1 space? You see all these creators with all their pictures. Most of them go from overweight to less overweight or to skinny fat. Everyone, everyone. And, are they more healthy? Sure. Notice how all of them have to stay on a larger dose to maintain that look. Very few of them have gotten improved health and actually lowered the dose. I'm on a micro dose. I maintain this level of fitness on a micro dose, and I'm just one example, but I do this on thousands of people. So I like to be a beacon and an example for everybody. I mean, they might not even be more healthy, Billy's. I would I'm glad you said that. Um, I think if you lose enough fat and you lose enough visceral fat, even with the muscle mass loss, there's probably a net improvement, but some of them probably aren't. I would agree. I mean, every one of their cases would have to be I was giving them the benefit of the doubt, I guess. Sierra, I think that would totally depend on the individual case history. My medical team can evaluate it and make a final call. There's no general answer to that. Brenda, I'm one of the ones on the struggle bus. Can't wean off of 15. I gain weight with every yeah. So Brenda, we're in the middle of a four-part series talking about weight loss stalls. We're gonna talk about maxed out doses. But basically, if you guys see what Brenda's talking about, what many of you guys are struggling with on today's live is being able to decrease your dose without blowing up. Once your body becomes dependent upon larger doses, you decrease that dose, you're going to blow up. Very a sensical, logical response. JD, peptides, you can't compare peptides to GLP-1s like that because peptides are just a category of many different compounds in many different classes. You have healing peptides, fat loss peptides, anti-inflammation peptides. There's just many different things. So you can't make a blanket comparison like that. But and no, I would say GLP-1s are better. GLP-1s are freaking amazing, guys. I mean, honestly, if I had one tool, if I had one peptide to work with, it would be GLP-1s first, honestly, out of all of them. And then probably AOD, and then probably BPC for the inflammation and gut healing. Um, those would be my top. And then low dose naltrexone, which really isn't a peptide, it's a medication, but it's a micro dose of that medication. Okay, so Thank you for being patient with me. I know I'm answering a lot of questions. So we were going to get into part two of the science of a weight loss stall. So why does it happen that when your weight loss stalls on GLP-1s, your symptoms start to present, right? The tiredness, the brain foggy, constipated, the feeling cold, the body's achy. Why do all these symptoms start when your weight loss stalls? The reason why this happens is because your thyroid function is literally decreased. So I want to just briefly help you guys understand. You have trillions of cells in your body, and you have receptors on these cells for thyroid hormone. It is the thyroid hormone that stimulates those cells, which activates the mitochondria to convert the energy. Converts the food that we eat into the energy that your body needs. So less thyroid hormone activation means less energy production. That sound familiar, guys? Tiredness, brain foggy, constipated. Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing to have trillions of cells in your body that depend upon energy, ATP, now have 50% energy, 40% energy, 60% less energy, right? Arbitrary, every situation is going to be different. But I want you guys to understand why the starvation mode situation looks like a hypothyroid situation. I mean, it actually kind of is. Clinically, the presentation looks like hypothyroid, and on the labs, it actually might look like it, but we do a very comprehensive lab panel, so we can actually tell the difference between starvation mode versus actual clinical hypothyroid. We can tell the difference. The dog's name is Ollie. Um, so you won't feel better and fix these issues until you fix the starvation mode. You got to get your body out of starvation mode in order for it to start losing weight again, in order for the symptoms to go away. What is the best thyroid lab? I feel like the typical panel doesn't go deep at all. It doesn't at all. Yeah. Um, so the typical thyroid panel is checking thyroid panel is checking TSH, and that's it. It only checks TSH. TSH is very limited. Um, we also check we check a few different markers. We're checking reverse T3, free T3, free T4, and reverse T3. So yeah, these are very important markers to check. Hello, Rachel. How are you? Jermaine, I tried to do a 36-hour fast while on a GLP-1 and I could only make it to 24 hours. Well, good for you. Good for you. You made it to 24 hours. That's fantastic. Uh, that's a great start. And in our program, we teach people how to continue to improve on that. We teach people how to continue to push that because once you get into the deeper rounds of fasting, that's when you're really going to heal. How do you maintain muscle? So, solid resistance training, solid hypertrophy style training. It's the way you train, it's how you train, the intensity, it's consuming enough protein. Those are the two biggest variables. And then after that, secondary would be what's happening in your body. Are you getting enough protein? Are you getting enough Well, we talked about protein, sorry. Hormones. So what's your testosterone levels look like? If you don't have enough testosterone, if your testosterone's in the tank, then you're going to struggle. Jermaine, you've been putting on a lot of muscle. That's awesome, man. That's freaking great. How do I know how much protein I need to do on a GLP-1? So your protein requirements are not going to change on a GLP-1 versus not. About 1 gram per pound of target body weight seems to be a good estimation. 1 pound per, 1 gram per pound of target body weight. Anything more than that is totally fine. Retta and peptides, can you take both? Yeah, I'm on retatrutide and I'm on peptides as we speak. I love it. Retatrutide, AOD, maybe some CJC ipamorelin. Just depends on your goals, where you're at, what you can afford, making sure that you're doing the right lifestyle with it is extremely important. And you need that coaching, you need the structure. And our retatrutide rate is 503A. Our retatrutide is 503A. It's awesome. Rachel, I'm still having a hard time getting it. I got my prescription from my doctor, but no one covers it. Rachel, I don't know about you, but most people are sick and tired of dealing with insurance companies. And so if I were you, I would just take matters into your own hands. Like many other people, they they're ready to go. They're ready to do. And so what you can do is get what you can do is get check with us a free consultation. What we do is we prescribe compounded GLP-1s, and so the compounded GLP-1s are a fraction of the price. Can you go right from TERS to Retta? Marina, uh, you certainly can do. I mean, yeah, you could do that. It's not like there's any life-threatening or dangerous thing that would happen. Many doctors would tell you to do that. Many doctors would think you got to stay on a medication. Oh my God, why would you take a break? Right? So that's the standard thought process. Transition from Sema to TERS, TERS to Retta. But hopefully now you know that we're very different. And so we are very, very big on the medication reset. So let me ask a question to the whole group. How many people here watching this are on a larger dose of the GLP-1? How many of you guys are on a larger dose of the GLP-1 and you would like to be on a lower dose if possible? Because we can talk about, well, I think what's next to talk about is the actual reset. We're going to talk about the reset, but then after we get through that, we can talk about maxed out dose situation for sure. Stretching, baby? I haven't stretched forever. Uh, Heather was taking 12 and a half. Is retatrutide the same as semaglutide? No, very different. Semaglutide is a GLP-1 agonist. Tirzepatide is a dual agonist, GLP-1, GIP. Reta is the triple G, GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon. If you're on 5.5 of TERS, you wanted to switch it up. Gotcha. Um, I mean, you're not on a larger dose per se, but again, for me, I always encourage the break. I always encourage a chance to feel hungry again, to test the water, dip your feet in the pond. If it's super cold, pull it back out. That's totally fine, right? But feeling what it feels like to be off the medication is part of the process of building independence in the future, right? If you need to learn how to swim, but you never dip your feet in the water and you're terrified of swimming, how are you ever going to confront that? So if there's a future where you want to build some independence, you got to start playing around with this concept. Heather, I've tapered down during my metabolic reset, and now I'm doing 2 weeks with nothing until I start Retta. Heather, you're in my program, right? I think you are. So I was like, why do you sound so structured? Like you know what you're doing. Oh yeah, that's right. You're in my program. That's awesome, Heather. What do I think about TV 500 status for post abdominoplasty? I think that's great. I think the TV 500. I would do the BPC though. I think the BPC would be great alongside the TV 500. And we do offer the BPC. We do offer the TV 500. Um, all the different uh, healing peptides we offer. I'll try going live from the other account too. Moderators, we're going to hop a little bit onto the blue check account. I can find my other. Lori, we're stuck at 45 pounds. So, meaning you've lost 45 or you have 45 more to lose? Let me know. My medical team does. My medical team, we service all 50 states. And yeah, they are the ones that prescribe. We look at like we were talking about earlier, we do a functional thyroid panel. Good morning, morning. So, Lori, what dose are you on, and what's your current solution to address that problem? Janin, on 15 milligrams of Tirzepatide for 16 months, down 110 pounds. What do you suggest? I'm eating at a good deficit and I'm exercising. So, Jasmine, first of all, congratulations for losing that much weight. That's a freaking awesome feat. But I'm going to be real with you. You're in a really tough situation. You're in a stall and you're on the maxed out dose. So this is one of the more challenging situations that we can absolutely help you out with, but this is going to be a process. The thing that we're going to do if you're working with me and my medical team is we're going to put you on a metabolic and a medication reset. We're gonna restructure and speed up that metabolism. We're gonna take a break from the medications and make sure you don't blow up in the process. We're gonna resensitize your body to the medications so that when we start back up on a lower dose, probably put on some muscle mass too as well. We can get you back to a clinically lower dose, and bada bing, bada boom, rock and roll. So this takes cooperation between me, my coaches, and my medical team. Some comprehensive labs in the beginning to make sure that you do it correctly. Like it's a process. It's a process that we are equipped to do. This is one of our specialties, so I strongly encourage you to shoot us a text message and get yourself scheduled for that consultation. And let's rock and roll. Ray, can I ask what is the average cost of the lowest cost of Retta to make sure it's a fit for me? So the retatrutide just works on the bottle. So 16 milligrams of 503 retatrutide. I believe we have it for like 900 or 1,000. I can't remember. But that's 16 milligrams of 503 retatrutide. That's with our labs and our guidance. That gives you 3 months access to the community, where you can catch me for the rapid fire Q&As. Uh, Izella, what happens if you miss a dose? You just miss a dose. Nothing happens other than lowered amount of the GLP-1 in your body for that week. So Lori, you're also on the maxed out dose, 2.0, pretty close to the maxed out dose. So currently, do you have any sort of plan for your situation? Or are you sitting there kind of scratching your thumbs, trying to figure it out? Or are you ready to rock and roll? Do you want to work with us and we can help fix this issue? Guys, if you just joined us here on today's live, welcome, welcome. So my name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics. We service across the nation. We're just about to talk about the metabolic reset. The metabolic reset or the reverse diet is what we're about to get into next. Thanks for being patient, everybody who's been with me so far. Uh, Mark, heading off of Tirzepatide next week. Labs came back. Finally not insulin resistant after 18 months. Appreciate your channel. Thank you, Mark. I'm happy to hear that you're kicking butt, my friend. Are you the Mark that's always been? The Mark? There's a Mark that used to be more active in the past. Was that you? I think that was you. And if that is you, you should definitely get into my. I haven't seen you in a while. I know you were very active, so I'm super happy to hear that you're kicking ass, Mark. I would love to see you in my lifestyle community, possibly maybe to be an ambassador, because obviously, you've done this whole program. You've really integrated a lot of what I've taught with the flow. I'd love to see you become an ambassador. Let us know if you're interested or not. If you don't have time, I understand. Yeah, for sure. At the very least, you can kind of be like a in the community as well, so supporting too. But just let us know. We have a couple different options. Okay. Hurt. AOD gets here today. Fantastic, my friend. AOD is awesome, by the way. Yeah, AOD can absolutely supercharge your results. Eggs. I've been on Zepbound for 2 months and I'm down 14 pounds. Awesome. What vitamins should I be taking? Um, so your your vitamins and minerals, like, that doesn't really change. I maybe a little more magnesium. That's one thing that I like. I do like and recommend more magnesium when you're on the medication. But that's about the only change. Yeah, Janine, a lot of these doctors, they just, you know, they're not trained in this sort of stuff. They're not trained in metabolic health. Yes, magnesium helps with constipation. So a lot of these doctors are not trained in metabolic health, and so it's um it's an issue, right? They just don't have the training in metabolic health. They don't know what to do. GLP-1 is giving me low blood pressure. Any suggestion? Um, Little unusual. I've never seen that before. Um, how do you know it's specifically the GLP-1? Are you literally like, there's no other variable that could be going on that could be causing the decreased blood pressure? Like, are you running a tightly controlled experiment? Or I would talk to your doctor because that's a very, I haven't really seen that at all. Now, the GLP-1s improve insulin resistance. So um, I've seen people from higher blood pressures start to decrease, but not going from normal to low. Hypotension, I haven't seen. If your blood pressure was high and GLP-1s lowered it, that's really good. But you're saying it's becoming too low now? What is in the shelf life of refrigerator for tirzepatide? Oh, shelf life. Um, Depends if you're getting high quality 503A, it can definitely last several months. Uh, Joshua Vega. So I employ medical practitioners. I can't prescribe. No, my medical practitioners are the ones that prescribe, not me. They prescribe and I coach. Yeah, Ocean. That's definitely unusual. That's definitely very weird. And so I would certainly talk to your doctor about that. See what's going on. What if you aren't insulin resistant or you don't know you are? Will GLP-1 therapy meds still work? Um, I can tell you unnecessary messiness that if you are overweight, you are likely insulin resistant. 85% of Americans have some degree of metabolic dysfunction. That's the recent statistic. 85% makes sense, right? Because I think the obesity statistic is like 65, 70% people are overweight. So being overweight is almost as, can you be overweight and not insulin resistant? Yes. Most people though are overweight and insulin resistant. Where can I get tesamorelin? Tesamorelin is the bomb, by the way. Tesamorelin is FDA approved for burning belly fat, by the way. Love tesamorelin. Definitely an awesome peptide. Shoot us a text message here and get yourself scheduled for that consultation with my team so that we can get you rocking and rolling with the tesamorelin. Wegovy and compounded did not work for me. How come? So Queen KD21 wants to know why didn't it work for her? Well, I talk about this a lot. I've made videos talking about non-responders, right? A lot of people talk about this concept of being a non-responder. So I say bullshit. Bullshit. Non-responder, low responder. It just means that your body has metabolic dysfunction that's so great, so high that the medication didn't override that. There's four main categories, and this is part of why my program, why my labs are so comprehensive. We're looking at insulin resistance, hyperinsulinemia. We're looking for inflammation, especially if you have autoimmune disease or non-autoimmune diseases. Um, we're looking at thyroid function, cortisol function. There's a lot of different pieces to the equation. I've been on the GLP-1 since March of 23. Might even turn on. Okay, so Lori, does it take longer for people to respond if they're insulin resistant? Yes. Yes. The more insulin resistant you are, the more now in a standard Western medicine approach, what do they do? Increase the dose, increase the dose, increase the dose. So eventually, these are the people that usually have to get on super high doses to have any sort of impact, to feel any certain way. But the truth of the matter is, there are many things that you can do to improve the response without having to continue to increase the dose. But we will help you fix this issue. Whoever said that they didn't respond to semaglutide, they didn't respond to Wegovy. All we need to do is get you in some lifestyle strategies, but we're going to do some blood testing and we're going to do a comprehensive dive to actually figure it out. All right, guys, I am going to hop off here in a couple minutes. Make sure I got caught up on everyone's questions. No, we don't take insurance. Unfortunately, insurance companies, they don't cover the coaching, they don't cover the guidance. Um, Matthew, let me get your question. Sorry. During Ramadan, fasting from sunrise to sunset. How about GLP-1s during Ramadan? I think that's totally fine. Yeah, no issue at all during Ramadan. Fasting is definitely one of the successful strategies that we do and that we encourage it for the patients. Bay Area. Guys, make sure you're following me on YouTube. Make sure you're following me on the podcasts. There's a ton of free information and where I really dial in to these different programs. Um, Jeffrey, Agri mixed with Terz or Agri mixed with Retta. I don't think you need to mix Agri and Terz, honestly, because they're both really powerful appetite suppressants. But I think Retta and Cagri might be the real deal. The Retta and the Cagri just might make it super easy to just do some super long rounds of by the way, guys, I do go live every single morning, Monday through Friday, 5:38 Mountain Standard Time, and then I go live on the weekends at 7 a.m. So I wanted to make sure that you guys We're aware of the live schedule. You guys can catch me every single day. My clinic does service all 50 states. And so if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you're not getting guidance, coaching, structure, or support, if you want to make sure that you are doing this correctly, this number right here, guys, is the best number to reach out to my team. So fasting is totally okay while you're on a GLP-1. I can't give you medical advice, but I think it's a great idea. I think it's a very strategic move that can be very beneficial. No, I live in Denver now. Sustanon would not be my recommended plan of attack. You don't need Sustanon at all. Um, yeah, Jeffrey, I don't have a way to mirror. I don't have a way to mirror on the YouTube, but thank you for telling me that. But basically, you can also go to lastingweightlossnow.com, Jeff. That's another easier way since I don't have a way to flip the number for you. That's funny. All right, guys, I'm out. Have a great weekend. I'm in a calorie deficit. I'm a month in, and I only lost 4 pounds for the first week. Now what? Um, so I'm, I'm just about to hop off, but I would strongly recommend that you shoot us a text message here. We spent the entire last hour and a half talking about fixing the weight loss stall, speeding up your results, addressing the metabolic health issues that are existent, which are why you're getting these slower results. But you're giving Bay advice. I don't know what that means, Dre. Um, but good morning, John. So yeah, guys, make sure you save this number, shoot us a message, and we'll catch you guys later. Yeah, exactly, Jeff.